Hi guys, thank you very much for joining me. Polina here, coming to you from Peru and talking to you a little bit about the coronavirus. Everybody's on lockdown, everything is shutting down. I've been friends with this little bugger for a while. I'm not with it. I don't have it, but we've been chatting, and I have some insights for you. And I'm sorry if these are very annoying or unsophisticated because I've posted some of these on Facebook, and people got really angry at me. So the whole like burn the witch thing happened, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I just would love to inform you on what I believe and how I perceive this little guy. So to me, everything's a being. I work with plant spirits, I work with other beings. So to me, everything is kind of like a person. Everything is from God, and everything is real and connected to the greater whole. So why I'm really excited is because I believe that the answer is very simple. I believe that it is about the overall body and the overall health and overall satisfaction of life. So it feels to me that the coronavirus is not something that just happens. It isn't like the flu or other bugs. So I don't feel that it just walks into your system and apprehends everything. And I don't trust people that believe that it just is airborne and it just gets you. So I feel it is always a process of cause and effect. Okay, to get you anywhere, to have anything happen, there's always a process. And one of the greatest things to know about your health and about your immune system, this particular type of creature, is that you have to have a healthy liver and a healthy heart, and also very, very good endocrine health. But it feels to me, I believe and trust that one of the greatest portals to cleanse and to heal is the liver and the gut. So to me, it feels that there are lots of connections for all of us with our lifestyle. I feel there's a karmic connection um, to us with the earth, and it feels to me that it is not all about style of life or the fancy things we eat all the time. Like the liver doesn't like. I don't feel it's all about I suppose the agony of the endocrine system that we put it through with our lifestyle choices and our diets. I actually also trust this is kind of like a way for us to um, switch lanes and to perhaps get sober about our place on this earth, and sober about just the way that we are doing things, and how we are perhaps listening to each other, how we are feeling and thinking about each other and other beings, and what it is that we are finding worth in. And one of the most exciting things, I believe, karmically, that's happening right now, as kind of like the silver lining, is people are no longer confused about their lives because their life is at stake. And it feels to me that also the fear for their loved ones is starting to kind of like associate us or reassociate us to our greater divinity, and also the greater time and space continuum and what it means to be on this planet anyway. So why I believe this is about the endocrine system and mainly about gut health is because look where the virus originated karmically. It originated at a meat market, a poultry and fish market in China. So one of the luckiest things for us vegans during this time is to understand that our inner health and our inner joys are finally paying off, and how you feel every day, what you feed on every day, in every way is super hyper important and potent right now, because in a way our livelihoods are at stake, our health is at stake as a global community. So I'm kind of also like wondering about us as a species, as it does feel to me that this is a context of evolution. Are we evolved enough to continue? And it feels to me that we are. Some people, I believe, the ones that are more open to the sky, the ones that are open to receiving more vitamins, okay, from the earth, the people that are open to the sun and its rays, and people that are open to more open-hearted and friendly experiences aren't maybe going to take this on. And those of us that are stagnating, keeping indoors, eating lots of dairy products and meat and everything like that, I believe this is going to destroy parts of us enough in order to accept this virus and to let it be within us at home. Okay, so I trust that this is not all about digestion, but I feel this is one of the greatest hopes for us in this particular time. So it feels to me that the way to protect yourself is not with a mask, because I feel that most of it is actually taken in other ways. And I think that also it's not really about trying too hard to relocate. But I have to say, actually, it's very interesting. A friend of mine here has picked up that the places that are most affected is where there's winter. So maybe there is not enough joy, vitamin D. Maybe people are not feeling safe enough. People are home too much. People just like worry a lot. And also consider the country that is most affected in the European in Europe, sorry, is Italy, and consider their diet. So their diet is a very fragmenting diet, and when you think about, poultry and cheese and meat and milk and everything that is kind of happening over there, perhaps especially during winter months, it is very kind of like unconfusing to see as to why certain countries are very much at stake here, and certain places, even third world places, where usually people believe things like this can spread, are not really affected as much. And it also has to be said that children are not picking up the virus as much as adults. So that would probably be an interesting thing to consider. Perhaps a child is not as toxified as an adult. Thus, their liver and their pancreas and the endocrine system is more switched on and more turned on by light, by life. And that's because they're keeping active and they're not polarized by the history of their gut health. I trust that this is how come young people are not taking on the virus as much as other people. Also, why perhaps countries where there is more sun are not containing the virus as long, perhaps because the sun's rays and outdoor lifestyles are containing us or keeping us in more perfect health. What else to do? I suppose to me it feels very simple. It's just about um, uh, happiness and taking the anger out of the liver. So it feels to me, not just the liver, there we need certain digestive enzymes to break through and to go on. We need also a certain sense of bravery. Also considering that Saturn is going from Capricorn to Aquarius, I believe it is a question of integrity. And sometimes it is not just about why you think things are, who you think you have been, or anything like that. I actually trust that integrity comes from the inside. So to me, it feels that we do have a lot of hope and we do have a lot of time to heal, though I do believe that the virus, the crisis, is going to get worse before it empties. It seems like a longer momentum than we probably even hoped for. But at the same time, look who you are, where you are, and it is just more important that you keep your health together. Saturn and Capricorn, the greatest gift is integrity. So why I fast sometimes, or why I cleanse, why I do plant medicines, why I do anything is basically to keep my ego on the low, to keep my human together. And why it works is because where you are, inside and outside really matters. How you treat your organs, what you put inside, also what you input with what you experience, is what gives you the light and the force and the will to dance this dance of life. And if we're not taking care of ourselves, if we're not watching our inner health, if we have sediments in the gut, if we're keeping things around, if we cannot let go, if we cannot be unified with Creator and creation, if we cannot be at the same time as other people, how can I say, open, if we are keeping ourselves back, if we're locking ourselves up, if we've got negative energy, negative stories, if we don't want to go out, if we don't want to see anybody, if we don't want to see ourselves thrive, that creates a certain type of place for these types of things to live. So one of the things that I've learned with Candida, for example, being Candida free for almost 2 months has been fantastic, is that it takes over the system. Also consider your history with food, and maybe if you are vegan now, it doesn't necessarily determine that you are, for example, parasite and Candida free. So one of the luckiest things I found for myself is Cambo, Bufo, and ayahuasca, because a combination of these things actually has been teaching me a lot about how to keep myself clean and clear of certain entities, certain energies, and what sometimes cannot help us progress is not in here. It's not about your mind or what you trust although that helps and heals a lot, faith heals a lot, it's more about what is inside. And we have to sometimes look in and maybe trust that things are not perfect. So I feel this is a wonderful time to come back to your center, to yourself, through, for example, fasting. Unbelievable things can be achieved through fasting. Fantastic work can be achieved through just cutting down the carbs in your diet. I mean, carbohydrates, excess fat, gluten, sugar is where it's at, like this is why these bugs stick around for such a long time. This is where they're attracted to, because this creates an annoying kind of soil that the human is perhaps understanding is not, giving them enough energy. It's like, where's my energy? Where's my life force? It's like, because you've grown inside of you a being that then eventually acts, I suppose, on your behalf sometimes. Why we choose certain people, why we choose certain places, why we can never let go, why we choose to stagnate. It's not a matter of philosophy entirely. It's actually more a matter of trust. And some of the time, because our diets are agriculturally based diets, okay, they're settlers diets. Okay, we cannot learn to trust. I mean, look at Italy, please. Like, look at Germany, like, look at all these places in the world that have managed to trust their diet so much across the board, universally, that they will never let go of cheese. They will never let go of tacky things that eventually, inevitably become stagnation within even the urinary tract, anywhere. It just lives anywhere in the body. And we have to basically become very brutally honest with ourselves as a species, and also like as we are a maker of our own lives. It's like, what are we putting inside that space? What are we placing within? And what are we experiencing without? Because to me, the best way to counteract this process that is happening in the world is just to release all that old stuff, release the bedridden kind of situation, try not to sit inside and just wait for things to happen, no longer harbor anything, and start to be clean. And sometimes it's all just about a lot of water, maybe just about letting money go, because there might be a financial crisis associated with this karmic crisis right now. Letting it go, like letting it be, letting it be, letting it be. Pisces time, best time. We've got 1 week of Pisces left. The best time to just let it be. Okay, so letting it be, letting it go, letting it glow, letting it God. And then inevitably starting to just ask, okay, if money, because this is a problem as well here, possibly, eventually, money is not distorting you. Okay, perhaps you see now that diet is important. Okay, perhaps you may now see that with this mortality rate, perhaps your loved ones are important. Your life is important. How you do your thing is important. What you do every day is important. How you think and how you process information is incredibly potent right now. What are these main feelings, main ideas, main joys, or main concepts that are maybe even clouding your mind? And where you are, like at the end of the day, where do you return? Like, where do you return? It's like, what are your holy places? Okay, where are your holy people? Like, what are the things that are truly yours, and which are concepts that are no longer perhaps part of your being? Because sometimes at the state of a global crisis, there will be 1 or 2 things that resonate within all of us. Perhaps it is family, okay? Perhaps it is care. Perhaps it is loyalty. Perhaps it is abundance, but within natural means. Perhaps it is just about joy. Maybe it's about being jolly. Maybe it's about love. Maybe it's about making love. Maybe it's about painting. Maybe it's about dancing. Maybe it's about high tantra. Maybe it's about philosophy. Maybe it's about ego, perhaps also. But that's also a recognized organism as well. It's very interesting, like how these things are. There's always going to be many shades that keep you going in life, and perhaps for some of us, there are many valuable systems coming up, and perhaps many non-interests going down. And I feel there is something that is very right about these types of times, and prepare yourselves because it's going to get worse, right? Is that we're going to, I feel, inevitably feel happy, okay, that it happened, because it is going to take the bib from the baby, okay? Maybe it's going to take poultry off your table. perhaps it is going to give you more lives, more lifelines, maybe more ideas as to how to spend your time. It feels like it's going to be a bit interesting, to see these regrets and these almost like comical things, happen during this time. It's like, oh, I always was afraid that I wasn't eating right, but I never told anybody I was feeling this and I never did anything about it. Or like, oh, gosh, I've been in front of a computer for many years and I didn't actually ever even question my lifestyle because I was studying computers at university and my dad told me it was a good thing to do. Like, so it's interesting. When we have such a beautiful window though, okay, so I'm doing this in the last week of Pisces, it is so perfect and fine just to let pleasure come. Just let pleasure come, and whatever you see it. Even if your territory is locked down, even if you can't see your mum right now, even if you can't go home, it's okay. Just let it happen. It's a beautiful kind of like disease-free time to just let it be. Okay, Pisces, you don't have to try before Aries kicks in. So during April, May, we might have a little bit of a hard time or like a hardening time. But this is not about that. This is just like right now at this point, try to take the pressure off you and your friends and your peers. Like, take the pressure off. If you are really well enabled, perhaps not really. Maybe a cleansing ritual. Maybe you need to cleanse. Maybe it's time. And maybe for all of us that are feeling really well, and also I've noticed, for people that are better than before, or suddenly feel this influx of energy, why not help somebody else and also be prepared to help? Okay, so if the crisis really knocks on your door, I mean, what I'm seeing people doing is like fighting for toilet paper in Australia, like hiding from one another, like disinfecting their hands, not giving their things away easy, It actually is time to be okay. This is not the same as we have, I believe, remembered, like when we had epidemics like influenza and things like earlier in our evolution, they were doors and they were houses and they kept a filter. But it feels to me like here we are, and if you are really, really new to things, and if you are feeling vibed, and if you are feeling hopeful, and if your heart is filled with natural, like almost like relentless, like unforgiving joy, if I can say that, maybe it's time not to speak of it, but maybe start to realize yourself in such a way where you can be healer to others or help another or just lend a helping hand. Or maybe perhaps if you are welcome and you are stronger than before and you're not shy about things now, and somehow through your own karmic evolution you have been raised during a time of need or a time of solace or depression, um, maybe you need to now see how you can apply yourself in a helping way to those of us that are still arguing with ourselves, people that are perhaps not well, people that are rolling off the hill here, people are really scared or feeling very karmic about the situation. If you don't feel anything at all right now, perhaps it is really good, but also consider maybe having a home for a friend, maybe taking someone in for a while. If there's schools closing down, if there's restaurants closing down, perhaps a source of money for someone else is gone. Perhaps a source of connection for someone else is gone. Maybe somebody might lose a friend or a relative. Perhaps we're all kind of in the perils. We're all going to maybe be in the perils of this at some point, or have some kind of contact with this very, very interesting emotional regret that I think we're all going to feel inevitably as a part of this cycle. Do I feel that this is created by the government? Not at all. I actually trust that this is made for all of this. And I don't feel that this is a type of thing that was kept under control. I really don't feel it was incubated as SARS. Okay. SARS is a simplistic organism. It just goes in and it creates. This is an unsimplistic organism. They still haven't got it. They still haven't got why it happens, and they still haven't figured out the being behind the disease. And this is why I trust that this is a natural organism and a natural process of karma that happens on a planet where people are not pleased. And not only are they not pleased, they take a life of another in order to keep themselves sustained. Okay, and perhaps this is why right now children know better. If you have kids, let your children be the guru of you. If you have kids and they can't go to school, what a fabulous life. What a fabulous time to get to know your peers. What a very fantastic time to look after your grandparents, because they're at a more catastrophic, um, how can I say, time at this moment in time. And what a really nice, good, and healthy and fun time to just go out and experience. Go out and experience. Oh, everything's closed. Good. Good. If life as we knew it is on hold, what's holding you back from expressing your own version of life? So, thank you very much. I hope that you're well. Look after your kids, look after your grandparents. Please take care of your liver, take care of your loved ones. Take care. If you'd like to know more about me or join me on Patreon, you can. Everything is in the section below. If you'd like a personal reading, if you'd like some kind of help navigating, if you want to know more about cleansing for you specifically, I can tap into your body and have a look at what's up and what is the most relevant way of uncladding if you have been clad for a long time. And yes, also I have to say, vegans, vegetarians, you're not entirely safe from this. Like the stuff that we eat as vegans is also very extraordinary. Like the amount of things we mix into one dish, like the fake lasagna or like say the fake cheese, cashews, pistachios. They can make sediments too. And we just never really think about it. Like the way that a vegan body is organized is not necessarily the most stable way for it to organize. So we need to somehow come to an end of speculation about how to eat and think more scientifically, and also more in terms of who is happy with which diets, because your type, your blood type really answers the question. It's like, are you type O, are you type A, and positive or negative. So it has many kind of like ways to be resolved, the situation. It's just more important how well we treat ourselves and each other, and what other things that you allow to happen to you. Okay, so beautiful here in Peru. Thank you so much for having me. If you want to know more, okay, let me know. I'll be here. So thanks a lot. Enjoy and be blessed. Bye.